How is it with the clients which have been under surgery from several times at the
Yeah,
same area? If there are two or more layers of scar tissues
yeah, yeah.
on top of each other, can you still release them?
There are ways to possibly release it. I'll give you a real cool example. I had this gal came in. She had a knee replacement surgery, and she came in. Well, not just one. Well, continue the story.
Mhm.
That knee surgery, after knee surgery and after physical therapy, she could not bend her knee joint. And so they did a scar reduction surgery. She went through physical therapy again for many months, still could not bend her knee joint at all, not at all. So they did a second knee replacement surgery. Again, it would not bend. And then they did a scar reduction surgery, still could not bend. This is physical therapy. So this took a few years, right, to do all these surgeries. Then she had a third knee surgery replacement and a scar reduction surgery. Still cannot bend in. She'll see she comes into me after 3 knee replacement surgeries, after 3 scar reduction surgeries and years of physical therapy, and still cannot bend that knee. I just started doing the resets for her, and she ended up bending the knee more than half the optimal range. She walked in with the crutch, and the whole bit that she's been walking for years, and walked out on her own. And so the funny thing is, she told me this interesting bit. The surgeons told her when she was under anesthesia, the knee could bend perfectly fine.
Uh-huh.
But when she was conscious, the knee could not bend. With NRT, we allowed whatever that was going on in her brain that was protecting that area to let go finally while she's conscious. So she didn't really need to go through all these other surgeries.
Pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Well, think about the pain and expense, and you
Yeah.
spent like that. It's just crazy. If you understood, if the medical doctor understood that the knee bent while she was unconscious, but it didn't when she was conscious, you would think another surgery wouldn't solve the problem. It's something neurological.
Yeah.
But no. But these are the kinds of things you see. I had a guy with a chronic incipient demyelization syndrome. And it causes basically a numbness, loss of sensation in your extremities. And it was creeping up. It had already affected he had come in with crutches from the knees down because he could not feel his feet or his legs. He could partially feel parts of his thigh, and he lost feeling in parts of his fingers, hands. And a young guy, he used to be a top-level college athlete. This is maybe 5 years after college. And he couldn't do any of that stuff. He could barely walk with crutches. And he said, "Can NRT help me?" I said, "Well, I don't know, but it won't hurt to try." At the end of the session, he had all the sensation back in his feet, and he walked out of the clinic without the crutches on his feet or on his legs. And so I never know if NRT is going to work, but in all these kind of neurological disorders, but it seems to work in a lot. It maybe not cure the condition, whatever it is, but it can bring him back to an earlier stage. And after I did a few more sessions on him, he said, "Well, think about getting back to going and start running on the track again."
Great.
This is a guy shortly before was doomed to being in a wheelchair in a short time.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Big difference. So that's what brings, joy to my heart to see these kinds of things that I could never have done had I not known NRT. Because I wouldn't have known how to undo that, at least for a while.
I think that's a good story to wrap it up with. So
You want to wrap it up? I can feel that.
Let's end the recording here, and then we can say proper goodbye afterwards. So we're just gonna stop the recording now.